The reason why I chose Rapid Rewire was fast and effective. Suddenly I asked myself, what the hell just happened? That I can't even articulate why I am not the same person anymore. My name is Cheryl Lee, and I am a personal development coach. What was going on in my life when I was looking for something like Rapid Rewire was the absolute strongest modality that I could be trained in outside of best practices for coaching. I was wanting something that was very, very powerful, very, very effective, and yes, of course, very, very rapid, although I didn't consciously know it at that time, but something that could provide near instant relief and near instant some kind of salve towards all the pain and suffering that we're all going through in this day and age. I was looking at all the classic modalities out there. I mean, anything to do with tapping, even hypnosis, any sort of psychological or emotional processing tools, looking through classic best practice coaching books and trainings, just your run of the mill stuff. But none of those things really shook at the heart. The reason why I chose Rapid Rewire was because the process that was done for me worked for me. It was fast and effective. It allowed me to get to a point afterwards where, I mean, it wasn't that it was instantly after the process was done, but it was almost like you had to sit with it for a metaphorical 5 minutes, and suddenly I asked myself, what the hell just happened? why do I why am I different? Not just why do I feel better? Sure, I felt better, but why is it that I can't even articulate using brain cells and vocabulary and words why I am not the same person anymore? And so my own experience of it was why I chose to join it. Another reason why I joined it was because I just followed my divine calling. I just felt into it and leaned into it, and the gut was always saying yes. It was saying it was an open yes. And so I just trusted that. My experience in the training was just profound in those moments of self-reflection, especially during integration questions, especially. You wouldn't expect there to be even more eureka insights, but there was more. You suddenly one day just realize that you are absolutely not the same person that started this entire training and program. And so that itself has been the most profound experience of it all, is that it's there are immediate changes that you see within yourself as you go through the program and you go through the training, because you're reaching into spiritual enlightenment each and every time you process someone or someone processes you. But the I didn't expect for there to be such big spiritual interchanges in me by the end of this program. I didn't expect that at all. That's been the most wonderful, awesome surprise gift from this program. Some of the most profound moments in the training have been the time spent with other colleagues being processed. The coolest ones have been realizing how much gratitude I have in trusting that these processes do help for me to integrate to that next level, for me to realize the fears and the anxieties and the worries and the ego that I brought to the table as the issue were no longer a concern. Specifically to my personal situation, a traumatic event in recent weeks, this training has been a saving grace for me to overcome it, and not just to survive through a traumatic event, but to thrive which is unheard of for me. Lesser things have happened to me where I have been a complete mess on the floor, in pieces. And yet I'm thriving. I'm functioning and thriving, I would say, given how bad this situation was. And so I have nothing but Rapid Rewire to thank for it, and for the people who do join Rapid Rewire or have joined. I mean, for them to also share in their warmth and graciousness and human connection, and ultimately an expression of love. That has been my, yeah, again, another big gift, one of the many gifts that have come from this training. Who I was before the training was someone who was always enough, but didn't know it in her heart quite yet, because it was covered by ego, covered by mind, covered by the intellect, covered by survival, covered by performing for others, covered by all kinds of fears that I couldn't see who I was before this. And after this training, I can now really crystal clear see that that is who I am. Who I was before this was a person who was living mostly out of fear, and mostly out of a desire to um, perform in some way, to effort in some way, so as to receive the value and the worth from others, to receive validation from the world around me, people around me, that I was enough, that I was good, that I was loved. And who I am now as a coach and just as me is someone who no longer requires that to be in place for me to know that I am whole already. The tools that I had before as a coach, before encountering Rapid Rewire, were tools that, yeah, they do work, and they were sellable, and that I did believe in. Um, but I always felt that there was something missing. There was some kind of passion or deep trust that I was missing within these modalities. Um, I didn't feel any deep spiritual change. There were changes, and they were good changes, but a lot of it took place more in the cerebral space, or in spaces that didn't feel like made a lasting long-term impact. But with these tools now as a coach, I feel absolutely empowered to actually make a real difference, because it has made a difference for me. The spiritual enlightenment aspect of it is so crucial. And if the client is not seeking spiritual enlightenment, but just relief, all the better, because I'm able to facilitate part of my life's mission to create impact and help others transform or shift from fear to love, in a almost in a secret way. My favorite part of being in Rapid Rewire is the love and camaraderie and warmth that I've received from those who are part of it. Both Wesley and Stephanie, and everybody else involved in the program, has been nothing but purveyors of love and enlightenment. Those human connections have been my favorite. There's also another favorite, and that's just my own spiritual leveling up. That has been the other most favorite part of Rapid Rewire. What I love about the Rapid Rewire tools is that they are so easy to use. They do not require any sort of psychology degree. They do not require intense study. They simply require that authenticity and honesty, be brought to light. And they do require that you feel into the emotions that you're being asked to feel into. Other than that, the only requirement is just to be yourself with Rapid Rewire. That's what I love most about these tools. You can just be yourself. Another thing that I love most about the Rapid Rewire tools, not only are they absolutely so easy to use, but that they facilitate the most integrative experience for your undesired emotions. But really, the most beneficial part of these tools is that they actually facilitate spiritual enlightenment. They facilitate growth and expansion. They facilitate inner maturity. They facilitate inner growth. And it's easy to use. You do not need to study for intense periods of time at all to be able to achieve its benefits. The only analogy that I can use that's not even completely encapsulating the experience is just every single time I do a genuine, authentic process. And even if I'm not feeling up for it that day and I still do it, it's like a mini mushroom trip. It just without the psychedelics, right? Like it's I mean, it's spiritual enlightenment. Like I don't know how else to describe it, right? And it's been such a saving tool, such a saving container for me, especially given what has happened, 8 weeks ago. I mean, thank God I said yes to this. Like, divine orchestration. There's just no other way to put it. Some of the results that I've gotten with clients using Rapid Rewire is overcoming a phobia of flying, overcoming some very intense physical long-term ailments, working through the constant pain of that, having this disease and managing its pain has been absolutely essential for a client that I've worked with for several sessions on. And she says that not that she no longer feels the pain, but that her relationship to the pain is no longer one of chaos and tumultuousness and turmoil. So that has dramatically altered her relationship with her family and her friends as she's feeling the pain. So that has been a huge, huge result. Gosh, there's been so many, so many results. I can't count them all. I mean, the small things, relationship conflicts with family members, with partners, with lovers, with boyfriends, girlfriends, getting over, working through heartbreak. And the biggest one for me personally is overcoming poisonous actions from other people that could have derailed a lot of my sense of self and trust in my future relationships. What I would say to someone who's on the fence about joining Rapid Rewire is that I truly don't say anything that I truly don't try to sell people on anything that I don't believe in. But it has truly worked for me in overcoming probably the most traumatic situation in my life in the last 8 weeks. And if it can help me overcome and work through the trauma of that and to release insofar as to not only thrive, but not only survive, but to thrive through it, then I hope I can convince you through that testimony alone to join something that will help release you from whatever shackles that you might be bound by in life.